Well, hello, my sexy ass bitches. It's been a minute, and boy, have I got a lot's happening. And I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to keep my peace with this shit. But, it's really just becoming like one hit after the other. And I don't know how much more I can take. So, with all that being said, hi friends, and welcome to My Friends Aren't Here, the podcast, where I have two friends in real life, and I'm hoping that this reaches more, because I can't keep talking to them about the same damn shit. Like, my life is a mess. My life sucks. Sing a new song, would ya? So I will. I'll sing it to a different crowd. Hi, y'all. Roll the intro. Oh, boy. I'm just gonna do this shit from the floor because that's where I'm at right now, I'm just here, just getting hit from left into right, if you are on the video option of this podcast. And it hurts. It hurts, I mean, my goodness. I'm trying to think how we start this off. Maybe we just let it all out, we let it all out, the anger, the frustration, the heartache. Yeah, it's getting deep here. It's getting deep. Buckle up. Not too deep, unless you want it to be. What's up, Demi? Anyways, where do we start? First of all, I'm breaking out. I am breaking out as a grown adult. I was under the impression, I will say, that once you were out of high school, you'd be acne free. All of a sudden, not a single pimple pops up on my skin barrier. That's what I kind of thought that was the case. Turns out, no. I think it's stress induced. I will say that. I've had a go at it. I've been having a go at it, and I have had it, personally. I did say buckle up. However, no, just don't. Just ride. Ride with me. Ride with me. Crack open a cold one. I'm driving, though, so you can crack open whatever you would like. Perhaps a cold one, right? There any dads watching the pod. Today on the pod, we are sipping a Olipop cream soda. I've been getting into the Olipops because I've been trying to get out of binge drinking. So it supports digestive health. Olipop does. So yeah. Plant power. Anyways, this is not an ad. It should be. Olipop, just wait till my numbers get up and I'm sure you'll be banging down my door. I know it. And boy, do I have a price for you. And we're going to talk about what that price is right now. I am what you would say or call a bit of I wouldn't say stupid. I wouldn't ever call myself stupid in any sense. Well, I was going to say in any sense of the word, but no, they're in a part of the word, right? I don't know much outside of, serving a look. But for anything that does not apply, some would call it street smarts, right? The limit does not exist, meaning I don't know the first thing about life. I don't know what I'm doing here, man. one day I was, starting preschool, and then all of a sudden I was graduating high school, and then I was getting a job, and then and now I'm here, and I can say, looking back on my lifetime, I've always been a little depressed. Yeah, I think it happens to the best of us. It happened to the worst of me personally. I would never last, doing a 2 hour long lecture talking about taxes or things of that nature, which does relate to our first issue here. So, you get a new job, and during the orientation or training, you are more than likely to fill out a W 2 form. Yeah, and on said W 2 form, you are supposed to put specific numbers, apparently, to get money back from this godforsaken government that does not pay their own fair share. Clock it. Yeah, you're supposed to put specific numbers, right? And didn't know that. Well, at least I didn't know that, but I didn't know what the number was. Apparently, you're supposed. I don't even know now. Ain't that a bitch? My mother informed me recently of the number. I do already forget it because what the fuck. And apparently on. Sorry, I have to laugh. Apparently, on my last 2 jobs that I've had, I put the incorrect numbers on said tax forms. And my mother informed me that doing it that way, you. So silly. It's so fucking silly. You get more money on your checks. However, you are more than likely going to owe money back. To the government. So, crash out number 1. I think, the saying goes, things come in threes. And, yeah, so I'm kind of just going through the top 3 things that have happened recently to me. Sorry, I just started thinking back. To make a long fucking story short, I believe that I owe back about $1,400 to the United States of America. That's wild. That is a wild statement that I have to say, just knowing full and well. What? My only response to that crash out would be fuck a bitch named Uncle Sam. And also, while we're at it, fuck you, Kenkles McTaco Tits. You're a bitch. I mean, while we're at it, yeah, the taxes. Let's talk about number 2. Taxes and service fees and tipping culture and sales tax and business tax and Uber tax for delivering I've had it to hear. You guys are trying to kill me. You are trying to make me go broke. And it's not happening, not on my watch. I've been there almost once before, and I am not going back. Well, maybe. I don't know. Because sometimes I do wonder, I feel like I could, kind of sweep if I, went out in the city here and just, begged for money on the streets. Of course, I wouldn't be wearing this. I look like a regular 40-year-old at a country club. But I'm thinking, maybe if I just go out and about, around the city and, I wear my rich pair of jeans, or maybe I just go to, a rich neighborhood, per se, around me, and, the burbs, go to the burbs and, beg for money there. I feel like I could do a killing just because I feel like I don't look entirely cracked out. I do have, a bit of a look in my eye that's a little, oh my, kind of like a Gen Z stare, Yeah, maybe a certain generation. I'm thinking 70 plus would kind of look at me and say, "Oh, sweetie, you must have gotten kicked out for being a homosexual." And maybe they'd give me like $20 or something. Um, I don't know. I'll keep it on the back burner for now, but I have thought about it a few times. A few times. Let me take a sip before I start getting into my next set of debts. Let me set the scene. You, like the good little American fuck that you are going to work. You're going to your regular old 9 to 5. At this 9 to 5, you park your vehicle in a parking garage near the building that you work at. Now, as a good little capitalist fuck that I am, I do feel as though, pardon me, we all have jobs for a reason. I would think the job of a parking garage that I have to pay $18 to park in every single time I park there, I would think its job is to be secure and that I could trust that at the end of my shift at 5:30, I could come out. I could come out to my vehicle, do a little dance, say, "Oh my goodness, I'm free for the next 8 hours. Yay, I'm so excited to whip this bitch, drive right into traffic and sit in traffic for another 25-ish minutes and finally get home by 6:15 or so, and then walk into my place that I share with my 2 other roommates that we will get to very shortly." I would think that would be the case. Nay, nay. Nay, nay. 'Twas a Thursday at near 5:45 p.m. I make my way to my vehicle parked in the parking garage about 0.3 miles away from the building that I work at. And I get in the elevator. I press the number 6 for the 6th floor. Soybeans. I'm trotting along to my car, and I go to open the door to my driver's side, and I say, "Oh, why is it on the ground?" And at that point, I kind of just begin to, some may call it disassociate, some may say a psychopathic, sociopathic, if you will, laughter, a hybrid of those two things. Because, I don't know how to open my door without the handle. So I couldn't get in my driver's side door. So I do what one normally does. I freak out and I say I fucking hate this city. I fucking hate this city. I fucking hate this goddamn city. Broke people, not myself, trying to steal from a little bit less broke people, that is myself. This bitch just tried to steal my vehicle, my transportation, that I use to simply just go to work. They tried to steal the bitch, and it's a piece of shit. I can say that for a fact. My check engine light has been on for nearly, it could be about 2 years at this point. It's been on. Never went off. Have I checked on it? Yes. Then I checked on the price of how much it would be to replace it. $4,000. I don't think so. I will ride and ride until I no longer. However, that was not the story that day. I call my sister. I'm just very calmly saying, "I fucking hate this city. I fucking hate this city." She says, "I know. You said that so many times already, but what is it this time?" And so I simply just flipped the FaceTime camera around to show, oh, no, they don't have a handle. She says, oh, interesting. What happened? I said, I don't know. I was at work. I was at work, clocked in, making a pitiful hourly wage for, little did I know at that time, something that's gonna cost another band, as the rappers say. Another fucking band. Wait, is a band 10,000 or is it 1,000? Or what's a rack? I don't know. So my sister, the very logical and careless, well, vocally sounding careless person that she is. She's also a fellow Aquarius, so that's probably why I sound the same. She says, we'll just try opening it from the passenger side door. And I said, I need a moment. I don't want to get in yet from the passenger side door. So time goes by. Oh, so fast. Oh, so fast. It felt like a matter of 45 seconds this entire past 2 weeks, to be honest, has felt like a matter of 45 seconds in my life. And I hope it's not the end soon, because that would be, what a bitch of an ending. What a bitch of an ending. It's just my bills stacking up. Get off the phone with my sister. I then breathe a few more times, and then I open my passenger side door. I open my passenger side door, and what do you know? My ignition is ripped out from its bitch steering wheel thing. I want you to know that I have never felt so low. I think right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a moment to myself to recollect, so I don't make myself look insane and unwell on the internet. I do love me some HRH collection, but that is just not my brand, I don't think. What I do have in common with her, though, is we're gonna throw it to an ad to promote myself. Take it away, me from... My Friends Aren't Here, the podcast is brought to you by me, duh. Have your eyes been feeling quite dry? Are you getting sick of the same recycled nachos of crunchy clean girls and boring bland bottoms in your feed? Well, baby, allow me to introduce you to some fresh air to breathe. On Instagram.com/IRISALEXANDERM, your eyes' thirst will be quenched. You will no longer feel as though you are a cog in the wheel of witnessing every single micro trend. Nay, nay, baby. At Instagram.com/IRISALEXANDERM, your eyes will be revived. My Friends Aren't Here, the podcast is also sponsored in part by my TikTok. Go follow IRISALEXANDER unofficial. That is UNOFFICIAL. I know, it's kind of hard to spell, I will say. Iris Alexander unofficial on TikTok. Iris Alexander M on Instagram. Also, fuck it, follow my Finsta. Coke Queen Forever. COKEQWE as in echo, E as in echo, N as in November, 4 like the number, E as in echo, V as in victory, A as in alpha, because that is what the fuck I am, period. Thank you to our sponsors. You guys are truly the sexiest, baddest bitches, and I can attest to that. So, I get in, my ignition is pulled out. So I call my parents. I call my mommy and I say, Mommy, I'm scared. I'm scared. I think I'm in the ghetto. The fuck is going on here? That's what I say. I said, are you joking? Somebody, well, I didn't realize it at the time, I will say. I said, and I quote, I think someone tried to steal my car. And then my parents said, well, why? And I circled the camera around and they said, oh, well, no duh. Like, yeah, you gotta call the police and do a bunch of things and kind of just throw your entire 5 to 9 little routine, throw it to the shit. Throw it right in the shitter and hop right back up in the morning with a happy little fucking attitude and get ready to do your dumbass job again. Yes. Ooh. So I get off the phone with my mother and she, God bless her heart, because if I did not, and, shout out to parents, shout out to my parents specifically, I kind of feel sorry for you. Yeah, because goddamn, I didn't even know that I would have had to call the police in this instance. I kind of just thought, like, I was just done for, like, shit, that is going to be a graveyard for my vehicle. That car is never coming back out of there. I thought I was done for. I thought it was over. But it's never over until it's over. And it is still ongoing because my car is still in the shop. So, circling back, I called the police. This was my first, this was the first moment that I got, it got to a point where I didn't see anything, I didn't hear myself, I didn't, in a fight or flight or fawn or freeze, I think they are, I am very much so a freeze and fight hybrid, I will say, because whenever I saw the door handle, I kind of froze. I said, ha, 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 ha. And then when this next situation happened, it was still kind of like a ha, 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 and then it kind of went down to baseline, and then I got on the phone with 911 dispatch, and that's when the fight came in, because, my dearest listeners at the Chicago Police Department, this is nothing towards you. I'm not saying that you guys are bad people. What I am saying is, your dispatcher needs to watch your tone. For real. The non-emergency dispatcher, Miss Mamas, you need to watch your tone. So get this, I call 911. Did not know that there was a non-emergency line, my bad. So I get transferred to the non-emergency line. First of all, I will say, I don't know if it's not really, an emergency to you, but of course, two things can be true at the same time, right? It is an emergency to me because I don't want to be, I just got off work. There's a bit of a chill in the air. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I have only but so much fat on my body to keep me warm during a time like this, when emotions are high. You know what I mean? And, that's my bad. But it feels like a fucking emergency. Anyways, I get transferred over to the non-emergency line, and it's this little uninterested, very bored-sounding spicy Latina, and she was not having it with me or my situation, I will say. At one point, she is asking me all this fucking information about my car, and she was like, I'm trying to look it up in the database. When did your plates expire? And I am not at liberty to say on the internet when my plates expired. However, let's say they're ripe. They're a little ripe. My license plates. She was like, no bueno. And it was that moment that my heart started racing, when I started to freeze up a little bit and kind of say, oh, excuse, okay. And then she followed up and she was like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that, because if I'm sorry, I'm not trying to mock, but I feel like I kind of sell it. You shouldn't have said that, because I might have to send you down to a police station. That wasn't police station. Please. Anyways, she said that she would have to maybe have me go file the report at a police station instead. Then she puts me on a hold. I was on hold for a good 10 minutes. She would randomly pop in and ask me again what my plate number was. What it was they were Indiana plates, and I made the mistake of reminding her about that, because I'm very sorry, you seem a bit confused, broad. I don't know what to tell you. So I said, oh, well, I mean, my plates, they're from Indiana, by the way, I will say. And she was like, yeah, and that's exactly why I need you to go to a local police station and file this report, because I cannot help you. Goodbye. And it was that moment when I saw red. I immediately called back 911. Yes, I did. I called back 911 dispatch, and I say, hi, I was just on the phone with somebody, some lady, and she hung up on me. I was reporting that my car was tried to be stolen, and she just essentially hung up on me and told me to go to a police station. This 911 dispatch lady, she's trying to be very calm and cordial and kind, and I do appreciate her tone, comparatively. But no, I saw red at that point, and she said, well, are you sure, maybe it just was not disconnected? I said, no, she hung up on me. She said goodbye. It was not, there was nothing fucked up with the cell towers. Nothing was happening in that regard. She hung up on me. This lady, of course, she did help me. She was like, okay, you need to go down to this specific police station and make the report, okay? Do you have a ride? And I said, I'll figure it out. Because that's essentially what the last lady wanted me to do, right? And I do appreciate the other lady's tonature much better. But, yeah, I said, no ma'am. I'm chill. My beautiful, lovely, reliable, gorgeous, gracious, lovely friend of mine, she came and she picked me up and brought McDonald's along. A Diet Coke and French fries. And, it really is, times like those that you know exactly who the people in your life that you can rely on and trust and not be sick of. But we will get to what I'm referring to potentially in the next pod. That beautiful butterfly of mine, she came, picked me up, and we went to the police station. And then we sat there for about a half hour, 45. And as we were sitting there, nobody else in said police station. I go up, I approach the guy at the desk or whatever, and I kind of tell him about my situation. And he says, all right, yeah, the queue's about 20 minutes or so I'll be right with you whenever I can, okay? I said, oh, all right. So there's nobody inside of here right now, and you don't seem to be taking phone calls. This is not like a remote job. This is in person, you know what I'm saying? But neither here nor there. I did what I had to do. I waited. Needless to say, also, there was, maybe this is me being ignorant or, selfish or, I don't know, something. Come up with your own adjectives. But I kind of thought, like, you know, if I was making a police report, right, that, you know, the police would be pulling up, kind of, you know, sirens flaring and, you know, pulling up to the 6th floor in said parking garage at 329 South Franklin Street. Got that bitch memorized now after I had to say it 6 times to goddamn near everyone that I have come in contact with since this has happened. Maybe in a way I was being perhaps a little overzealous. You know, I'm not asking them to come guns a-blazing, especially, hello, hands up, don't shoot. But I did think, you know, there would be a little pep in some steps, and that I would be taken seriously as a citizen. That was not the case. Apparently, they do have a lot more things kind of going on here in the city of Chicago, Illinois. Didn't know that. I didn't know that. So at the police station, when, you know, me and my friend sat there, doing nothing but doom scrolling, apparently maybe I'm not sure. I don't know how the system works, but maybe police officers